is when are we going to start compromising our black masculinity for money? When are we going to stop compromising our black masculinity to get access to Snow Bunny coochie? When are we going to stop compromising our black masculinity to get jobs? When are we going to stop compromising our black masculinity to access privileged white spaces? You feel me?
Right.
What up, though, man? It's your boy Danye BC2. And before we start the video, go get 2 eggs, put that thing in a pan, and just like Michael Jackson, beat it. You know what I'm saying? But we got a video here. It's Dr. Umar Johnson. And we all know who Dr. Umar Johnson is. He's one of the most controversial people when it comes to race and also interracial dating. And he's a psychologist, and he's trying to build a school. So that's a little bit of his background, but he has some things to say about RG3 and his opinion. So I want to get right into the video.
Now let's get to RG3 and Ryan Clark. RG3 does a podcast a couple of days ago. And with his white wife in the background, sitting there like a slave master supervising her slave on a plantation. With his wife in the background, RG3 proceeds to insult, denigrate, incriminate, and insult and belittle Angel Reese. He mocked her using stereotypical, exaggerated black ghetto behavioral demonstration.
Yes.
Talked about how she hates Angel Reese. He said, excuse me, Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. He said
Blatantly.
Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. And I know this. Excuse me, RG3. Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark? How do you know this? I'm a psychologist and I can't read nobody's mind. I tell people all the time, I'm not a psychic. I'm a psychologist.
Difference.
I can't read your mind. I can analyze what comes out of it.
So right off rip, yeah, RG3, he jumped out the window. He definitely jumped out the window and stated a lot of things that, like he said, wasn't true. I don't believe that Angel Reese is really like hates Caitlin Clark. I don't think that at all. I don't even get off that vibe. I think that Angel Reese feels like she doesn't get enough credit for the explosion of how girls basketball is. And shoot, I have conversations about this all the time, and people truly believe that Angel Reese had nothing to do with the reason why everything is so big. And that's just not true. So she feels like she doesn't get the respect that she deserves. Listen, Caitlin Clark is 100 times better as a basketball player. We're talking about skill, playing the game of basketball. We're not talking about skill when it comes to Angel Reese in a lot of situations when she talks about getting her credit. We're talking about impact. And to sit here and say, oh, Caitlin Clark is the reason why everything is big, that's not true. You needed 2 to tango. You needed a rivalry. You needed a beef. And that's what Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark made together. So, no, I don't think she hates Caitlin Clark, and I think she appreciates Caitlin Clark. She wouldn't be where she's at without Caitlin Clark. And I think Caitlin Clark appreciates Angel Reese as well. They always talk about it in the media. It's always a big game. They break records and sell and do a lot of stuff together. So no, there's no hatred, man. It's like a rivalry. Steph Curry, LeBron James. Like I said, one is better than the other, but it's a show every time they step out.
But I can't read it. RG3 became a psychic in front of his Snow Bunny, telling the world that I can read Angel Reese's mind. First of all, even if you were a psychic, you done been around Snow Bunnies too long for you to even understand black women. First of all, he was already married to a Snow Bunny.
Right. That's what Ryan said. Yeah.
Got a divorce.
Yeah. Second
was
one.
cheating on the first Snow Bunny with the current Snow Bunny. So you went from Snow Bunny to Snow Bunny. And then you got the audacity to try to belittle a black woman to make your white wife feel better about herself. You don't ever, no black man should ever insult or criticize, even honestly, a black woman in the presence of a white woman.
Yes.
And so I'm trying to put myself in Dr. Umar's shoes and see where his perspective's coming from. But in terms of that statement right there, you shouldn't criticize a black woman in front of a white woman or anybody like that. I kind of agree. And the reason I agree is because people, people, when you tell them something, they go to the extreme and exaggerate things. Like, for example, like you said, let's say you do bring up Angel Reese to a white person, and let's say you say something negative about Angel Reese. Don't you realize, like, people are quick to be like, dude, I know, like, man, whoa, slow down there. You more excited about me. I brought the topic up. But people be having built-in energy, and they be waiting for that opportunity to criticize as well. And so I'm saying this to say that I can see where Dr. Umar is talking about in terms of it doesn't help the situation when you just talk shit about your community in front of other communities, because at the end of the day, we can sit here and act like we're all together. We can all sit here and act like, oh, race doesn't matter. Oh, I don't see color. It's not true. It is not true. We deal with that type of stigma. We deal with different stereotypes. And of course, it's also how you present yourself. So you can get good connections. You can have friends that's in different races and cultures and stuff like that. But there's still a stigma there. And to perpetuate it, to blow it up, to make it, to exaggerate how bad our side of our community is, doesn't help at all.
Because guess what? If Angel Reese was white, he would have never said any of that.
Right.
If Angel Reese was white, RG3 would have never said none of that. So Ryan Clark spoke the truth.
Yes.
Ryan Clark said, listen, you don't have conversations about what black women go through. You've dedicated your life to not one, but two snow bunnies. I'm going to call him RG2. I'll call him RG3 when he get divorced and get a third snow bunny. So he's RG2. Two snow bunnies, RG2, right?
Yeah.
And then you got her in the background showing the world how proud I am to be married to this white woman. See that? First of all, you know my position.
Yeah.
Black men who date and marry white women wish they were white themselves. Let's just...
I don't agree with that statement. I truly don't agree with that statement. Now, do I think that, I'm gonna be real, do I think that many black men look at black women as valuable in a lot of situations as other races? No, they don't. The way they even talk about other races, like Puerto Ricans, they get all excited, and yeah, I mean the white people, they get all excited. But like black, when you bring up black, like there's only a few people that really get excited about it. And listen, I was on basketball teams where everybody was dating a white woman, and they were all black basketball players. Could I understand it? No. But like I said, it's something that I feel like we don't put more emphasis on how beautiful black women are, or we don't talk about how important it is to date within our society. I think that is a big reason, is we don't really talk about it, value it. And for me personally, per se, I want to marry a black woman because I want to have a legacy. I want to pass it down to someone that looks like me. And I also value, having that by my side. Like I do believe that me being black, the statistics behind me, the marriage rate, the divorce rate, kids being 80% of kids being raised out of single parent households. I want to break that. I want to help break that cycle, and I want to do it with another black woman, because now we're stronger together. We're breaking stereotypes. We're breaking gender norms. We're breaking statistics, and I'm setting a good example for my community. Now, I will say this. People will be like, well, why do you feel like you need to do that? You don't need to do that. Just marry who you like or marry what you love. You can do what you do, okay? But I know myself that, me personally, I know that I'm here for a bigger reason. I know I'm here to have an impact, make change in every way possible. And like I said, I have that side that I'm doing it for. And I also have the side of, I just like black women as well. Beautiful little chocolate, chocolate things, you know what I'm saying? But let's continue and hear what Dr. Umar has to say.
Keep it a buck. You're talking about a group of people who have historically and systemically devalued, dehumanized, and destroyed African life and culture, and you want to marry one of them. To marry a Caucasian is to play for their team and fight for their army. To marry a Caucasian is to play for their team and fight for their army. And then RG3, like a coward, he comes back at Ryan Clark and he says, you hit below the belt when you brought my family in this. Loon. He didn't bring his family in it.
Right.
He said you married 2 white women.
Just say your decisions.
Your decision.
Informed.
He talked about your decision.
By something. Yeah.
Who don't know you got 2 snow bunnies? Ryan Clark ain't talking about your wife. He didn't say one bad thing about your wife. He said nothing bad about your beautiful children. He said you chose to marry 2 white women. But look at the double standard and the hypocrisy. You just disrespected a 23-year-old girl, Angel Reese. You talked about her like a dog.
Right.
Told her she hates this little white girl.
Yeah.
Disrespected her, insulted her, mocked her. This is what you did, RG3. And because he reminded you that you go home to a white woman, he's wrong. Look at this. Ryan Clark is wrong for reminding me I married 2 white women. But I'm not wrong for disrespecting Angel Reese on the internet.
Do you think that him saying you went too far bringing my...
Okay. I'm understanding that. And I want to hit on something that he said before that little rant at the end, was he said that you marry into that family. You're a part of that family. You're connected onto that family. That is 100% true. If this is going to be your wife, if this is going to be the person you have kids with and lay down with, you are now connected to her side. You are. And so that part is never going to be left out. Listen, I've been to a baby shower for one of my brothers before, and it was us, my brothers, and a couple people that he came with, all black. And then it was his baby mom, because he's not married, and her family that was all there, all white. And it didn't mix. Okay, I'll tell you that. It was like water and vinegar when you put it together. Nobody talked to each other on that side. Nobody talked to each other on that side. It was like a hey, but like you could tell there was like this different energy. And I ain't like it. I'm gonna be honest, I ain't like the vibes, but it goes to show that it's deeper than just that person itself. You know what I mean? Like you got to understand that you're going to be passing down your resources to that person's family. You're going to be interacting with that person's family. They're going to be judging you. And like I said, it's you got to understand everything that comes with it, because at the end of the day, your wife, your girl, your baby mom, the person that you decide to lay down with, have kids with, and all that is your biggest investment. So if you're not looking at it from 100 different angles, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it totally wrong. So me per se, that's why I look at everything. I know people just say it's about love. It's not just about love. That's bullshit. Love's only going to get you so far. Only going to get you so far. It's about dedication. It's about doing things that you don't really want to do, staying down long, and then also sacrificing, especially when kids are involved. You got to stay there for the kids. You got to be there for the kids. You got to put your kids over your own happiness. You feel me? Like, I hate when people go out and buy clothes, buy shoes, make themselves in a better position while their kids are not also getting proper clothing, proper food. Like, you're investing more money into yourself than your kids. What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's a little bit of my rant. But if you understand, please hit that comment section and write down that you understand me. And if you don't understand, also write down what you don't understand.
My family, and it's him signaling to ESPN.
Of course, because he said ESPN. He said this is not a good look for ESPN.
See, he said, y'all see me, master, standing up for white folks now.
He is a house Negro. And don't get me wrong, back when he played for the the Redskins, I believe it was, Mike Shanahan, I believe, unfairly cut RG3's career short when he made him go out there and play while he was injured. I don't know if you remember that.
I think
he was not fully recovered, right? Because he was a damn good quarterback.
Yeah, he was.
Could have been one of the best. Mike Shanahan made RG3 get out there and play before he was fully healed, and that stopped him from fully becoming what he should have been. I think it was wrong. So the brother's career was cut short by racism.
Right.
Because they would have never done that to a white
Why
quarterback.
would he not say, I'm not going out till I'm healed? Like the white man can make you go out knowing that you're not healed.
Depends on the politics of that situation.
You don't think so?
I wouldn't have done
Antonio Brown took his shirt off and said, I'm out of here.
Right. But
at some point,
to your point, it comes back to whether or not you're willing to compromise your black masculinity.
Yeah, that's the thing.
A big conversation that we as black men need to have with each other without our women around is, when are we going to start compromising our black masculinity for money? When are we going to stop compromising our black masculinity to get access to Snow Bunny coochie? When are we going to stop compromising our black masculinity to get jobs? When are we going to stop compromising our black masculinity to access privileged white spaces? You feel me?
Right.
Because black men, unlike any other men in this country, and I understand why, because we're more under attack, we compromise our masculinity too much. Too much. And for RG3 to sit up there and say, this is a bad look for ESPN.
Yeah.
Why are you bringing that man's job into this?
That's crazy.
His podcast, your podcast. Right. Your private podcast, his private podcast, and you're going to bring his job in it. So you said because he reminded you married 2 white women, he's supposed to lose his job? But it was okay for you to disrespect Angel Reese. Look at the difference.
Yeah.
Don't even mention a white woman.
Right.
Don't even mention a white woman. You should be fired. But it's okay for me to perfectly disrespect this young kid, this young 23-year-old sister who's been disrespected enough. And I'm going to add on top of it to prove to my wife and her family that you can trust me anytime against my own people. Mm-hmm. And then people said, well,
I think that wraps it up right there. Last point that I'm gonna hit on is, I feel like nobody should compromise their masculinity. Nobody should do things that they don't want to do for money, for a check. In terms of, I'm talking about do things they want to do in terms of morality per se. Now, I feel like you should be working jobs that you might not want to do because you're trying to get to places. A true man's, and that's the thing, a true man's, and this is the difference, a true man, like, to be a true man, you got to do things you don't want to do. Now, the other side of that is, what things are you doing that you don't want to do? Now, if it compromises your integrity, if it goes against your morality, if you're doing things that you know for sure you couldn't show your mom, your parents, anybody in your family, because you just know that this is not good, then don't do it. But do black people do that more than other races? I think black people like to fit in. I think black people definitely try to fit in where they can. They try to be accepted more because of that stigma that nobody really likes us. And I'll give them that. I'll give them that. I definitely think that side is definitely stronger than any other races. But let me know what you guys think. Hit that like and subscribe button. Trying to grow the channel to 1,000. So any likes, any subscriptions helps with that. And listen, I'm going to catch you on the next vid, and I'm out. Peace.